Chapter 1071 Can't Get Up. It was almost done. Xiaonan wanted to cry but she had no tears. As if it would be done. He also said the same words earlier. Xiaonan, who was viciously bullied by Zai Sheng, had not expected this. To a strong and fit 26-year-old man, it had been tough on him to endure several months of taking vegetarian food after having meat once. Finally, he had waited until the eve of Lunar New Year. His nice-smelling wife was obediently lying in his arms and it seemed that he could do whatever he wished with her. However, Zai Sheng, who had been starving badly, still had to suppress all his longing and desire. The big piece of meat was at the edge of his mouth but he could not take a bite of it. He could only cover himself with a blanket and sleep abidingly. As such, the fire in Zai Sheng's belly was extraordinarily huge. Finally, he waited until the day that he could have meat. Zai Sheng would not be a real man if he did not act according to his wishes and take a few more bites of it. He had reminded Xiaonan a few times that the debt she had owed certainly had to be paid back in folds. Henceforth, he would begin to collect his debt from Xiaonan. As expected, when Zai Hua got up the next morning, she saw Zai Sheng having breakfast after his morning exercise with a satiated look on his face. "Oh, you can still climb out of your bed." Zai Hua totally did not expect Zai Sheng to wake up so early. The siblings grew up together. Zai Hua was certain that Zai Sheng would not let Xiaonan off last night. Finally, his wife was in his arms. Zai Hua believed that Zai Sheng would not show his face for the whole day. He would certainly stick to Xiaonan in the bedroom so that they could spend their time together. Zai Hua was surprised that Zai Sheng woke up so early. However, that satisfied look on Zai Sheng's face made Zai Hua feel like punching someone. Although Xiaonan was not present, it was so obvious that Zai Sheng was brimming with happiness. Did he wish to drown Zai Hua, who was now single? Before she could have her breakfast, Zai Sheng had force-fed her with his public display of affection. Looking at the sumptuous spread of breakfast, Zai Hua lost her appetite suddenly. She was already full. Miao Jing sat down and looked around. Nan. Can she still get up today? Zai Sheng said without a change in his expression, the wedding photo shoot is already over. As for the other wedding preparations, it's not a must for Nan to be involved. It's tough on her as she is studying. We'll let her rest well during the Lunar New Year. Okay. Although Zai Sheng made it sound so pleasant, Miao Jing could only decipher one thing: most likely, Xiaonan could not get up today. As for the next few days, it was also a huge concern whether Xiaonan could get up. "Auntie, remember to set aside some breakfast. Don't let Nan go hungry when she wakes up." "Madam, don't worry. I have boiled and set aside some nutritious soup for Nan," the auntie replied with understanding. Last night, who in the Zai family did not know that Zai Sheng had conquered Xiaonan? She knew Zai Sheng's appetite very well. The auntie had a lot of foresight. She had already prepared nutritious soup for Xiaonan so that Xiaonan could supplement her energy lest her health suffer. Pfft! Zai Hua spatted out the soy milk in her mouth. "Auntie! You're good." She had even prepared the nutritious soup. She had said before. It was not that the auntie was capable. It should be that Zai Sheng was really capable. Miao Jing passed a piece of tissue to Zai Hua. Nan is very shy. When Nan wakes up later, please don't spout nonsense in front of her. The warning in Miao Jing's words was obvious. There was nothing bad that Nan and Zai Sheng could spend more time with each other. If the young couple did not spend time together, where would her grandchild come from then? Zai Hua rolled her eyes. Fine. Her mother had been possessed by the devil now because she wanted a grandchild. When Xiaonan really became pregnant, perhaps Xiaonan even had to give up her place in her mother's heart to her own child. As she thought about this, Zai Hua felt more balanced at heart. She could not win against her sister-in-law but Xiaonan was squeezed down the ranks by her own child. When Xiaonan woke up, it was already noon. When she came out of the room, she was unable to balance herself and almost fell. Her head was also spinning. "Auntie, what time is it now?" There was no clock in Zai Sheng's room and Xiaonan did not have a watch either. She felt muddled after sleeping and did not even know what time it was now. At the sight of how Xiaonan looked, the auntie was amused. She pointed at the clock hanging on the wall so that Xiaonan could see for herself. This was because she knew that Xiaonan would definitely feel embarrassed if she were to simply tell Xiaonan the current time. Xiaonan blinked her eyes and looked at the auntie. 1. It's already 1:30. Yes, the auntie said softly. Nan, you must be hungry. Take a seat first. No one is at home. I will get you some soup. Don't let yourself go hungry. Xiaonan not only missed breakfast but also slept past lunchtime. Coupled with the energy-draining exercise last night, Xiaonan could not even remember how much her stomach had grumbled. No one from the Zai family was at home now and she had slept until 1:30 in the afternoon. Xiaonan had difficulty lifting her head. It was so embarrassing. Nan, it's okay. I have been keeping the soup warm for you. The temperature is just right. Quickly drink it. The auntie was smiling like a chrysanthemum. Miaojing wanted a grandchild soon. The auntie also wished to help take care of the babies. Which of the few families that were close to the Zai family did not already have a few grandchildren who could run about? The Zai family had fallen behind those families by so much regarding this. They could not pin their hopes on Zai Hua now. Hence, same as Miaojing, the auntie could only target Xiaonan's tummy. Thank you, auntie. Xiaonan, who had just woken up, did not feel the enthusiastic eyes that the auntie had on her tummy. She lowered her head and drank the soup abidingly. This was because she was really feeling very hungry, so hungry that she could eat up a whole cow. Since the auntie had given her the soup, Xiaonan would drink it to fill her stomach first. After drinking the bowl of soup, Xiaonan felt more energized. At the sight of the dishes brought out by the auntie, her eyes lit up and she felt her appetite coming. Normally, she would only take one bowl of rice but she took two today. When Xiaonan wanted to request for more, the auntie simply stopped her. You can't continue to eat like this. You will spoil your health. You won't feel stuffed now, but when you drink a little water later and the food swells up in your tummy, you will feel bad. In fact, if Xiaonan's action had not been so swift, the auntie would not have allowed her to take a second bowl of rice. It was enough to have an additional half bowl of rice. Okay. Xiaonan also felt that she almost had enough. She cooperatively put down her bowl and chopsticks. Once Xiaonan put them down, the auntie cleaned up the table. Right, there is a computer in Zai Sheng's room. There is also an internet connection. You can use it if you need to. There is a computer at home. Xiaonan flung her head. During the year that she died, cell phones were already very common. However, computers were still very rare. Not every family could have a computer. Chapter 1072 Where to store the dowry? Okay, do fiddle with it. The auntie knew that a computer was rare stuff and she would not use it. She did not dare to touch it either. She was also very careful when she cleaned it. The auntie was thinking that, although computers were rare, Xiaonan would certainly know how to use them as she was a student of Peking University. The auntie's words had aroused Xiaonan's curiosity. She seemed to be familiar with the house as she made her way to Zai Sheng's study room. The computer desk was now occupying the space that previously had a study table. This computer of the Zai family was completely different from the slim ones that Xiaonan had seen in her previous life. The screen was huge and the display was white and square, like a big box. The display on the screen was not very big either. After exploring for a while, Xiaonan finally switched on the computer. The internet connection for this computer of the Zai family had already been set up. When Xiaonan turned it on, it connected to the internet automatically. She thus opened a web page. During this time, the internet was certainly not as developed and prevalent as the future. Even if they could surf the web, the information that they could find was very scarce. In comparison to the rich and interesting content in the future whereby one could know what was happening in the world without even stepping out of the house, it was very different. To others, the computer was a rare item, but to Jiaonan, it was nothing spectacular. After a few minutes, Jiaonan switched off the computer. The auntie was looking strangely at Jiaonan when she walked out of the bedroom. Jiaonan knitted her brows. "Auntie, is there any matter?" The auntie sighed and even ground her teeth once. "Your dad is at the entrance, looking for you." The dad that auntie was referring to was of course not Zai Yaowai. She would usually address Zai Yaowai as chief. "My dad?" Jiaonan pursed her lips. "Did he say what the matter is?" "He said that your sister's boyfriend is here. The parents of the two families would like to meet one another for a meal. This meal will be held in the small courtyard of the Chiao family. That means he wants me to go along." Jiaonan was disgusted once again. Her father was not a bad person. He was a very principled man. However, sorrowfully, each time there was a matter involving Chiao Zijin, her father would completely disregard his principles, as if they were just farts. "I think so." The auntie nodded. "I have already asked your father to go home. When he left, he said that you just need to be present for a while during the dinner." "That will do." "That would do?" Although the Chiao family felt that this was fine, they also had to consider if the Zai family and Jiaonan felt the same way too. "Not going." Jiaonan declined without any further word. In this lifetime, the people that Jiaonan did not wish to see most were Ding Ji and Chiao Zijin, followed by the Chen family. Now, she could finally avoid the people that she did not wish to see most. Why would Jiaonan create trouble for herself during the Lunar New Year by meeting those people that she did not wish to see? The auntie smiled. "If you don't like it, don't go then." She knew that the chief and madam would certainly not force Nan Nan to go. They hated those people of the Chiao family as well. Sometimes, when the auntie thought of it, she really took her hat off to the Chiao family. The Zai family of 5, including the elder ones such as the old master to the young ones such as Zai Hua and Zai Sheng, liked Jiaonan so much. They even became in-laws with the Chiao family. Everyone says that he that loves the tree loves the branch. How did the Chiao family achieve this? Although the Zai family liked Jiaonan so much, they did not have any positive feelings toward the rest of the people from the Chiao family. They were even full of disdain for them. The Chiao family was also considered capable to be able to achieve this. "Okay." Jiaonan took a sip of chrysanthemum tea to reduce her anger. She did not wish to force herself to go for the dinner at all. Her father treated her like a mission. He felt that he had completed his mission and done his part for her after she was married. As for herself, she just had to bear the duty of giving her parents allowance. She had never yearned for the luxury of getting along harmoniously with her family members like other families. Her father had already handed over his mission. In that case, why would she participate in the matters of the Chiao family? After old Master Zai finished his round of visits, his old face showed a little embarrassment when he saw his granddaughter-in-law sitting in the living room. He was contemplating whether to hide as he was afraid that she would blush at the sight of him. However, Jiaonan spoke first. "Grandpa, you're back." Cough. "Right. I'm back." Old Master Zai gave an awkward cough. He was mumbling in his heart about what to talk to his granddaughter-in-law about. Should he ask her about her studies? However, Miao Miao had said before that his granddaughter-in-law was very smart. Besides getting into Peking University, she was also very diligent. Hence, she was definitely doing well in her studies. Jiaonan was so smart. Moreover, his grandson skipped a grade when he was schooling. Given this combination, the great-grandson that the two bore for him would be very smart, no? The corners of old Master Zai's lips gave way as he revealed a dreamy smile. This child would certainly have the best combination with the greatest brains and strongest body. The auntie passed a piece of tissue to Old Master's eye. Old Master, are you going to drool? Do you feel hungry? Old Master's eye was suddenly jolted to his senses. He quickly wiped the corners of his mouth with his sleeves and realized that there was nothing there. His old face blushed. I'm not hungry, just thirsty. Get me a pot of tea. All right. The auntie smiled. He dared not question Old Master's eye further, lest she provoke his anger. When the auntie left, Old Master's eye then continued to speak. Nan Nan, the date has already been fixed. It's the 8th day of Lunar New Year. The 8th day is auspicious and is suitable for marriage. What do you think? 8th day? Sounds good. Xiao Nan nodded. The 8th day would be the day that Brother's Eye would marry her in Pingcheng. One had to know. Both she and Brother's Eye grew up in Pingcheng. They certainly could not save on the wedding banquet in Pingcheng regardless of how simple they would like it to be. Soon after the wedding banquet in Pingcheng, the school would reopen. Fortunately, Brother's Eye had said. By that time, the Zai family would have moved over to the capital. As such, she could then collect the wedding certificate with Brother's Eye in the capital. Xiao Nan knew that to the Qiao family, she would really become a daughter that belonged to another family on the 8th day of Lunar New Year. She would be akin to spilled water. That was a good thing too. This was also considered a form of liberation for the Qiao family and her. If you think that's fine, we will go ahead with it. Old Master's Eye was happy. Right, the old lad of the Zhu family is already helping you arrange the dowry. The items are almost ready. The old lad of the Zhu family asked me to get your opinion. Where do you wish to store the dowry? Do you wish to marry from that small courtyard of yours or the house of the Zhu family? The dowry that Zhu Chenqi prepared for Xiao Nan was aplenty. Both the quantity and quality were high. That small courtyard of Pingcheng really could not accommodate all the dowry unless they squeezed the items on the empty space of the courtyard. The small courtyard was not big enough, but the house of the Zhu family was. There was also another reason to let Xiao Nan marry from the house of the Zhu family. That was to lift Xiao Nan's status. Once Xiao Nan married from the Zhu family to the Zai family, the Zhu family would be considered her maternal family in the future. Of course, the Zai family would not look down on Xiao Nan because of the Qiao family. Chapter 1073 Clueless. Xiao Nan would move to the capital with the Zai family in the future. By doing this, Zhu Chenqi had prevented the situation of others looking down on Xiao Nan whenever she mentioned her maternal family. If Xiao Nan was bullied by others, the Zai family would naturally stand up for Xiao Nan. However, Zhu Chenqi's approach would not only improve Xiao Nan's status but also save a lot of trouble. The Zai family felt that Zhu Chenqi's plan was quite good. Of course, it did not matter what Zhu Chenqi and the Zai family think. Xiao Nan's opinion was most important. Zhu Chenqi and the Zai family valued Xiao Nan's personal view most. Having received great respect from Zhu Chenqi and the Zai family, Xiao Nan tried her best to smile. Let me think over this matter. Xiao Nan understood Zhu Chenqi's good intention. Xiao Nan also did not take very long to consider this matter. Very soon, she replied to Zhu Chenqi. She was willing to marry from the house of the Zhu family. The situation of the Qiao family was a little special. Whoever knew the Qiao family was aware that Qiao Dongliang and Ding Jiyi were divorced. Furthermore, Qiao Dongliang left the marriage without receiving any compensation. The house Qiao Dongliang and Qiao Nan were staying at now was rented. Since that was the case, the rented house could not be considered the maternal house of Qiao Nan. Qiao Nan had saved the life of Zhu Baoqiu, the only grandson of the Zhu family, before. Many people knew about this matter. Everyone knew in their hearts why the Zhu family was willing to do this. Amidst this, the most interesting factor was that many people were waiting to be in for a good show. Ding Jiyi disliked Xiao Nan so much. Besides Ding Jiyi, many people were envious of the Qiao family for having such a pretty, smart, and fortunate daughter like Xiao Nan. It was a sheer pity that such a good daughter did not belong to their family. What about son? If they had such a daughter, that would be because they had accumulated a few lifetimes of good fortune. Why would a son certainly be better than a daughter? In particular, those who knew Xiao Nan's and Xiao Zijin's characters were happy to watch Ding Ji and Xiao Dongliang become jokes. They threw away the watermelon for a lousy sesame seed like Xiao Zijin. Each one was blinder than the other. Initially, many people were jealous of the Xiao family because of Xiao Nan. However, Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji could not appreciate good stuff. They did not want such a good daughter and pushed her away. In the future, no matter how successful Xiao Nan was, Ding Ji and Xiao Dongliang would most probably not get to enjoy any good fortune. Many people secretly felt overjoyed at the thought of this. It was fine that they did not have any of it from the beginning. However, Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji were already going to lead a good life, yet they pushed it away personally. Were they stupid? They were not as blessed, but they were much smarter than Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji. Anyone would know that becoming in-laws with the Zai family was equivalent to gaining a huge achievement in life. Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji were truly foolish beyond cure. Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji did not know about these people's thoughts. They only knew that the Zhu family specially sent someone to the small courtyard of the Xiao family to inform Xiao Dongliang that on the wedding day, Xiao Nan would be married from the house of the Zhu family. Upon hearing these words from the Zhu family, Xiao Dongliang felt very uneasy and humiliated. He felt that his pride was hurt. Does Nan Nan know about this? Nan Nan had a father and a mother, a family of her own. Why did she have to marry from another family's house? Don't worry. Xiao Nan is aware. She is the one getting married. No matter what, we can't go against her wishes. The Zhu family did not mind. Their attitude toward Xiao Dongliang was neither considered good nor polite. Xiao Dongliang did not have great wisdom, but he was still quite blessed. In his previous life, his elder daughter had a sweet tongue and bitter heart, but she married well. This gave Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji face. Ding Ji had been used to exploiting Xiao Nan to satisfy Xiao Zijin, but was very good to Xiao Dongliang. Xiao Nan was the only one who was sacrificed for Xiao Zijin's wonderful life. Xiao Dongliang did not need to be a slave to satisfy Xiao Zijin's endless wants. Xiao Nan was the only one who took all the suffering. Besides Xiao Nan, the remaining 3 members of the Xiao family were, in fact, leading rather good lives. In this lifetime, when Xiao Dongliang was hospitalized due to a car accident, Ding Ji did not fork out a single cent. Nevertheless, Xiao Dongliang had a good daughter. At the important juncture of life and death, Xiao Nan gritted her teeth, borrowed money from Zai Sheng, and saved Xiao Dongliang's life. Although Xiao Dongliang divorced with Ding Ji later on, he resumed interactions with Old Master Li since Xiao Nan saved Zhu Baoquo's life. This had also saved the relationship that his elderly father had previously built. This matter alone was enough to make Xiao Dongliang happier than he was in his previous life. Thereafter, when Xiao Dongliang and Xiao Nan moved out of the small courtyard of the Xiao family, they received help and support from Principal Meng of Pingcheng High School. In addition, Zhu Jinqi subsidized them in their living needs. Xiao Dongliang's life was getting better and better. He had a lot of face too. Xiao Dongliang knew the prominent figure that others could not become associated with. The other party even gifted him a huge television and a telephone. When humans were used to a good life because of others, they also used less of their brains. When it was really time to use them, naturally, the brains became completely useless. Xiao Dongliang could not figure out something that everyone else could. Xiao Dongliang kept feeling that his family was in very good ties with the Zhu family. As such, the Zhu family should give him some face. Who would have expected the Zhu family's chauffeur to speak to him in a manner that was neither warm nor cold? Although the other party's attitude was not especially snobbish, Xiao Dongliang was able to tell that it was a stark contrast with the previous attitude. Otherwise, Xiao Dongliang would not feel so upset either. Although that courtyard is rented, it's fine if they can't store all the items. We can store them in the house of the Shi family, which is next door. Xiao Dongliang, who was feeling unhappy, was also daring. He even dared to retort the Zhu family. If one house could not accommodate all the items, they would store them in 2 houses then. Given his relationship with Director Shi, certainly Director Shi would not refuse to help with such a small matter. He was certain that he still had Shi Peng as a friend who would support him and give him face. He did not need the Zhu family and could still marry his daughter off in a glorious manner. Xiao Dongliang had forgotten that without Xiao Nan, he would not even have a chance to get to know a figure like Shi Peng in this lifetime, next lifetime, or even the lifetime after next. He would not have such a relationship with him. He believed that he had everything. However, they were, in fact, brought to him by Xiao Nan. This was Xiao Dongliang's good fortune but also his great misfortune. Xiao Dongliang believed that he had face and could not see the truth of the matter. However, it did not mean that others were also bad judges of characters. The person from the Zhu family laughed immediately. What you said is fine as well. Why don't you give a call to Director Shi now? When you have a certain answer, you can confirm where to send the dowry of Miss Xiao. Fine. The clueless Xiao Dongliang agreed readily without another word. Chapter 1074 Think too highly of herself. Ding Ji, who had been standing by the side and listening, felt the pinch. Xiao Nan was already marrying well. Why did they still have to prepare the dowry? What crappy dowry! In the past, she did not even have new wedding attire when she married old Xiao. Xiao Nan had so many dowries that one courtyard was not enough to accommodate them all. They even had to store them next door. At the thought of this, Ding Jiyi's expression turned ugly. She very much wished that she could do something to vent her frustration. It was not just Ding Jiyi. Even Xiao Zijin, who was proud and cheery today, could not hold her smile. Today, Chen Jun brought his parents to the Qiao family's residence for dinner and was prepared to formally acknowledge his marriage. Of course, Father Chen and Mother Chen's main objective of coming to the small courtyard of the Qiao family was to meet Xiao Nan, who was going to marry into the Zai family and become the chief's daughter-in-law soon. Once their son married Xiao Zijin, he would immediately become Xiao Nan's brother-in-law. Even Zai Sheng had to address their son as brother-in-law when he met him. Their relationship would be very close then. The Chen family wished to become associated with the Zai family. Nevertheless, they did not mind having more connections either. If they could also interact with the Zhu family, that would be better. Today, the two families were clearly meeting to discuss Xiao Zijin and Chen Jun's marriage, but the Zhu family appeared. After thinking, Father Chen said, "You didn't mention it earlier. So, the little niece is getting married. It's fine that we were not aware of this. We are going to be one family in the future. Since I am aware that she is getting married now, as her uncle, I certainly have to give her some dowry." Didn't they say that Xiao Nan was going to be married to the Zai family from the Zhu family? When he arranged dowry for Xiao Nan and sent them to the Zhu family's residence, he would be able to get to know the Zhu family then, no? His son had worked hard for so long but only managed to gain Wang Yang's favor. He did so much but did not gain much in the end. Instead, he suffered a huge loss. Wang Yang was just borrowing the glory of the Zhu family. This time, the Chen family could simply cast Wang Yang aside and interact with the Zhu family directly. The person from the Zhu family took a glance at Father Chen. He did not respond. Xiao Dongliang waved his hands continuously. "No, no need. You're being too polite." Xiao Dongliang had not forgotten that he did not fork out a single cent for the dowry that the Zhu family was referring to. His younger daughter was going to be married but he could not provide any dowry. When his elder daughter was getting married, he definitely could not give much either. At most, the situation would only be slightly better. In terms of family background, the Qiao family was also considered to have found a better family if Chen Jun were to marry Qiao Zijin. Qiao Dongliang could not even present a decent dowry. How dared he allow the Chen family to spend money to add on to Qiao Nan's dowry? He could not help worrying that the Chen family would feel unhappy when his elder daughter did not bring many dowries with her the day she married Chen Jun. Even if he were to sell his blood, he could not arrange a dowry that was on par with that of the Chen family. Why is that so? When Chen Jun marries Zijin, we will all become family. You can also treat us as relatives now. Besides providing dowry, I want to give a large red packet too. Chen Jun was smiling very happily. Qiao Zijin was not capable, but she had a capable younger sister. It did not matter that the Qiao family was useless. They would not be shortchanged in this marriage. Comrade Qiao, if there is no other matter, I will go back first. Right, don't forget to check with Director Shi. Give us a call after you have confirmed the place so that I can get people to send the items to the designated location. The person from the Zhu family was unwilling to remain at the small courtyard of the Qiao family and waste his time. If not for Qiao Nan, the Zhu family would not have the chance to step into the small courtyard of the Qiao family. Qiao Dongliang's expression turned stiff. Although the attitude of the Zhu family was not very friendly, he could not lose his temper either. It's been tough on you. Don't worry. I will give you an answer soon. When the Zhu family left, Qiao Dongliang's face turned sullen. Qiao Dongliang had not forgotten that when he brought Qiao Nan to the Zhu family's residence for a meal 3 years ago, the hosts of the Zhu family were very polite to him, not to mention the people hired by them. This chauffeur was just someone that the Zhu family paid to hire, but his tone was smug and his attitude bad. Fortunately, he was not someone petty. Otherwise, if he were to reflect this situation to Zhu Chinqi or Old Master Zhu, this chauffeur would certainly have to scram and go home. Having been a couple for so many years, Ding Jiyi also had the same thoughts. Old Qiao, isn't he just a chauffeur of the Zhu family? Why is his attitude so bad? If you have a chance next time, you can reflect this situation to the Zhu family. He is going to embarrass the Zhu family and get them into trouble. Sister Ding, this doesn't sound right. Mother Chen took a deep breath. It's not a big deal. Why do you need to take issue with them? Who doesn't want to have a job and earn money? Why don't we turn big problems into small ones and small problems into nothing? We can give others convenience and also save some face for ourselves. Yes, the other party was just a chauffeur, but he was the chauffeur of the Zhu family. Even a small fly is considered a high-ranking official if they serve the Prime Minister. This reasoning made sense, be it in the ancient or current times. Ding Jiyi sounded so bold and righteous when she said that she wanted to teach that chauffeur a lesson. However, Mother Chen knew the situation in her heart. The problem was that if Ding Jiyi were to go the Zhu family's residence now, she dared to guarantee that Ding Jiyi might not even be able to touch the main door, let alone complain about that driver to Elder Zhu or Zhu Chinqi. Toward this in-law that thought too highly of herself, Mother Chen had not heard any less about her from her son. Was it because all of the good traits in the Qiao family had gathered on Qiao Nan? Qiao Nan was not only smart but also very lucky. On the contrary, the other 3 members of the Qiao family were not very clever. In addition, they refused to heed advice and did not know their own limits. If the Qiao family members were slightly smarter, the Chen family would not even stand a chance to take advantage of this bargain. After hearing her son's words, Mother Chen had been mentally prepared. Although she was aware of the situation, she was still affected when she personally encountered the clueless Ding Jiyi. Mother Chen looked at Chen Jun in trepidation. Son, given the intelligence of this family of 3, are you certain that they could help the Chen family and not drag us down? Mother Chen kept feeling that her son's life would not be as smooth as he imagined it to be if he were to marry Qiao Zijin. The most sorrowful thing was that the greatest trouble would not come from others but these 3 clueless members of the Qiao family. He is just a lousy chauffeur. Why do we have to give him face? In ancient times, People like him were called slaves. Ding Jiyi's face was full of disdain for the other party. In her mind, she could see the image of the slaves commonly seen in the television who would bend and kneel to their masters. Old Ding! Qiao Dongliang reprimanded Ding Jiyi loudly. Whether he is a slave or not, it does not have anything to do with our family. You're not the one who pays him. On what grounds are you looking down on other people? Phew! Having heard Qiao Dongliang's words, the Chen family of three secretly heaved sighs of relief. If Qiao Dongliang was the same as Ding Jiyi, whereby the brains were purely for decoration, they would have to think twice about the marriage between Chen Jun and Qiao Zijin. Chapter 1075 Start from the Shi family. Mom! Qiao Zijin pulled at Ding Jiyi, stopping her from creating trouble for her. Ding Jiyi pouted unhappily. Ding Jiyi had been too smug in front of the Chen family. She was thinking of showing off to the Chen family, telling them that the Qiao family had a high social status as well. When Qiao Zijin married Chen Jun in the future, the Chen family must not bully Qiao Zijin. Since the man from the Zhu family had left, Ding Jiyi could say whatever she wanted. No one would expose her lies. She could brag as she liked at her house. Ding Jiyi wanted to brag about her social status, but the Chen family who knew the truth did not give her the chance to do that. Brother Qiao, are you close to Director Shi? Father Chen tried to steer the conversation back to his intended topic, Director Shi. It was because of Director Shi that Pingcheng became a well-developed city over the past few years. Many people had been discussing Director Shi. They said that Director Shi would be due for promotion. Perhaps Director Shi would be a very important figure in Pingcheng. Father Chen wanted nothing but to be on good terms with him. Now that he could make use of the relationship with the Qiao family to be close to Director Shi, Father Chen would not miss such a golden chance. One can't say clearly as to where to place Qiao Nan's dowry over the phone. Besides, it would be insincere. Since the Lunar New Year is not over yet and the government sector is not as busy, and they have not resumed work officially, why don't we go to the Shi family's residence to discuss with them face to face? Mother Chen glanced at Father Chen. Would that be too obvious and seem hurried? Father Chen smiled confidently. Mother Chen did not need to worry. If it was some other family, he would definitely have to spend some time and effort, biding his time. But he knew the three people in the Qiao family inside out. There was nothing to worry about. Chen Jun had made it very clear. Apart from Qiao Nan, the three people in the Qiao family were not very smart. There was no need for them to say any pleasantries, lest the Qiao family mistake them as real. Father Chen was fearless in making use of the Qiao family to be on close terms with the influential people. He was certain that the Qiao family would not lose their temper because of what he did. They might not even figure out his real intentions. It was for this reason that they wanted to be close to the Qiao family, who was poor. Otherwise, the Chen family would not want to maintain a cordial relationship with them. Qiao Dongliang was hesitant. This may not be very convenient. As Shi Peng's neighbor, Qiao Dongliang had seen many cases where other people paid a visit to the Shi family's residence during the Lunar New Year and even brought with them a lot of presents only to be turned down. Shi Peng was very clear about what was right and what was wrong. He would never accept gifts from others and would not allow them to worm their way into being friends with him. This matter could have easily been settled between Shi Peng and him. It would be impolite if everyone went with him. Qiao Zijin's countenance changed. She tugged at Chen Jun's hand. Aren't we discussing our wedding? Don't go overboard. Chen Jun gave Qiao Zijin a cold stare. If the Chen family does well, you will have a better life in the future. Whatever that is good for the Chen family is good for you. You should not be throwing your tantrums now. Chen Jun wanted to go to the Shi family's residence to get to know Shi Peng. Right now, his career was in Pingcheng. It would take more than 20 years for him to carve his career in the capital. It was not something that could be achieved overnight. Chen Jun was ambitious, but he knew he had to take it step by step. He might not be able to go to the capital right now, but he was able to get close to Xi Peng. The problem was, Dad, Mom, didn't you have a dinner appointment with Jiao Nan tonight? If they went to the Xi family's residence now, they would not be able to rush back in time for the dinner appointment with Jiao Nan. It was a chance to be on closer terms with her. If Jiao Nan was close to Jiao Zijin, it was all right for Jiao Nan to wait for them. But the problem was they were not on good terms. It was more important to be on close terms with Jiao Nan than to create an impression on Xi Peng. There was a glitter in Father Chen's eyes. Will Jiao Nan be back for dinner tonight? Jiao Dongliang sent word to the Zai family's residence ages ago, but Jiao Nan did not give him a reply. She will not dare to miss the dinner. Ding Jiyi puffed her chest in front of the Chen couple. She was as proud as a peacock. She will definitely be here. If you want to go to the Xi family's residence, go ahead. Even if we are late, she has no choice but to wait for us. All of us are her seniors. She has to wait for us to have dinner. Ding Jiyi might not admit that Jiao Nan was outstanding, but she knew that she must make use of Jiao Nan for the Chen family to have a good impression of Jiao Zijin. She had to prove that she could control Jiao Nan and make her listen to her. In that case, the Chen family would think that Jiao Nan was on close terms with them and it would be easier for Jiao Zijin to marry Chen Jun. After her marriage, the Chen family would not dare to shortchange her as well. Therefore, no matter what, she had to show that she was in charge in front of the Chen family. The Chen couple stared at each other in silence. They had no idea whether to believe Ding Jiyi or not. It would be best if things were as simple as what Ding Jiyi had made it to be. Hey, my in-laws, hesitate no more. Work is more important. Jiao Nan is my daughter. She will definitely listen to me. We have to prioritize. Nothing will go wrong. It was just a dinner. She was Jiao Nan's mother. She did not believe that Jiao Nan would not listen to her. Father Chen looked at Jiao Dongliang. Is it convenient to talk to Director Xi now? Should we make a phone call first? How about an appointment? Not, Jiao Dongliang was about to say that it was inconvenient, but Ding Jiyi interrupted him. Of course it is convenient. There is no need to make a phone call. It is a waste of money. My in-laws, you may not know, but Director Xi has a good relationship with old Jiao. They have meals often. Director Xi spent the Lunar New Year and had a reunion dinner with old Jiao in the past few years. They were very close to each other. Father Chen smiled. In that case, Chen Jun, drive the car over. Sure, Dad. Chen Jun looked at everyone present before he said, the car can only fit 5 people. Ding Jiyi smiled. Chen Jun, thank you for asking. I will stay behind to prepare the dinner. After your chat, you can come back to have your dinner. If not, I will. Jiao Zijin decided to stay behind with her mother. Zijin, come with me over here for a moment. It is the Lunar New Year, how can you go empty-handed to visit Uncle Xi? Chapter 1076 Denied Entry. I'm going to get you some fruits. You can bring it with you. Ding Jiyi pulled Jiao Zijin to a side to talk. You have to go. This was a good opportunity. If Zijin went with them and the Chen family was able to leave a good impression on Director Xi, Zijin would be able to take credit for it. The Chen family would remember that it was she who helped them. Jiao Zijin stomped her feet awkwardly. Why me? I don't even know Director Xi. She knew it was for the same reason that her mother was willing to stay behind. It would be so embarrassing if Director Xi said that he did not know her and ignored her in front of the Chen family. What a fool! Your dad will be there as well. When you reach the Xi family's residence, you can remain silent. All you have to do is to trail behind your dad or Chen Jun, leave it to your dad to get close with him. Will this work? Of course it will. Why not? I heard that Director Xi has a daughter about the same age as Jiao Nan. If you feel embarrassed to talk to Director Xi, you can mingle with the young lady. If you are on good terms with her, you will definitely be close to her father as well. Ding Ji had planned everything for Qiao Zijin. Qiao Zijin thought about it but shook her head. No, this won't do. I know about Director Shi's daughter. She is very close with Jiao Nan. Do you think she will like me with Jiao Nan around? I don't want to court a rebuff and to make a fool of myself in front of the Chen family. Well, Ding Ji thought hard about it and grabbed Qiao Zijin's hands. There is a way. I will look for Jiao Nan right after all of you have left for the Shi family's residence. Since that wretched girl is on close terms with that young lady, I will tell that wretched girl to call the young lady so that she will treat you well. You can rest assured. I will find a way for the Chen family to treat you like the Empress. Will Jiao Nan listen to you? She will definitely listen to me. Trust me. Actually, Qiao Zijin did not trust her mother. Jiao Nan no longer listened to her words. Perhaps they had been apart for quite some time and Ding Ji sounded very confident. Qiao Zijin decided to believe her. In the end, she got in the car and went with the Chen family to the Shi family's residence. Jiao Nan, who was preparing for her wedding at the Zai family's residence, had no idea that she had been targeted even though she had been at home all the while. By the time Jiao Nan vaguely heard a commotion at the entrance of the Zai family's residence, other people at the Zai family's residence were aware of the commotion as well. Miao Jing knitted her brows. What is going on outside? Who is creating a commotion? Who dared to create trouble for the Zai family during the Lunar New Year? The auntie seemed to be in a difficult position. She gave Jiao Nan an awkward glance. Jiao Nan's expression darkened. Is it my dad, my mom, or Qiao Zijin? No, it should be my mom, right? Yes, the auntie replied. She has something to talk to you. She is being stopped by the guards at the door. No way. An angry Miaojing refused Ding Ji's request on behalf of Jiao Nan. She must be up to no good. Since she does not feel shameful, she can go ahead to create a din. Everyone in the quad knows the person she is. Zai Sheng patted Jiao Nan's hands. It's nothing serious. Jiao Nan curled the corners of her lips. Something bad would definitely come out of it. Even if the whole world knew the person that her mother was, there were still people who wanted to watch the show. You are right to hold the wedding banquet as soon as possible. After the wedding banquet, the Zai family would go to the capital. The Qiao family would be able to enter the quad in Pingcheng. But when the Zai family was in the quad in the capital, the Qiao family would not be able to create a commotion like today. No one in the Zai family said anything about Ding Ji's behavior. They were busy with whatever they were doing. Old Master Zai even went out from the back door and went to look for his friends. He did not make any comments about the Qiao family. After all, he knew about the Qiao family's situation right from the start. His heart ached that his granddaughter-in-law had such an unreliable mother. He knew that she would be a trouble now that she was the Zai family's in-laws. Ding Ji told Qiao Zijin with full confidence that she would make Jiao Nan listen to her. She was sure that Jiao Nan would tell Shi Qing to be nice to Qiao Zijin and Qiao Zijin would then be able to hold her head high in front of the Chen family. She had already made the promise. However, Ding Ji did not expect that Jiao Nan would be so heartless and ignore her. She thought that Jiao Nan would be mindful of keeping up appearances in front of her in-laws. She would not want things to be blown up and to embarrass herself in front of them. Not only would Jiao Nan come out to meet her, but she would even agree to all her requests. If Jiao Nan did not agree, she would make things difficult for her so that the Zai family would find her troublesome and call off the wedding. Ding Ji's intention was for Qiao Zijin to hold her head high in front of the Chen family, but she wanted to do it at the expense of Jiao Nan. She might have it all planned out, but Jiao Nan could not be bothered with her. All her plans were in vain. Ding Ji kept on kicking up a fuss at the entrance to the Zai family's residence. The soldiers who stood on guard seemed oblivious to her shouts. They gave her disdainful stares and refused her entry. There was tight security in the quad. The entire quad was divided into two major sections. The important figures such as the Zai family, the Zhu family, and the Li family stayed in the area facing the sun, while the rest of the people stayed in the northern part of the quad. 2 soldiers stood guard at the southern entrance. There was a distance from the guard post to the Zai family's residence. If Ding Jiyi did not raise her voice and create a commotion, no one in the quad would be able to make out what she was saying. Ding Jiyi's throat was parched and hoarse in no time. She was close to losing her voice. That wretched girl is so heartless. How can she refuse to listen to her mom? Ding Jiyi knew that the Chen family might have already met the Shi family. Ding Jiyi felt all the more anxious that she had yet to talk to Jiao Nan. I won't make a commotion anymore. Can you pass a message to my daughter, telling her to meet me outside? No, the soldier rejected her request without another word. Ding Jiyi rolled her eyes in anger. Everyone in the quad knows that my younger daughter is marrying Zai Sheng soon. She will become the Zai family's daughter-in-law. I am the Zai family's in-laws. How can you stop me from entering? In fact, Ding Jiyi had intended to stride into the Zai family's residence. She was their in-laws. She had the right to go to their house. No one could stop her from doing so. Chapter 1077 I am on good terms with Director Shi. Now that the 2 soldiers stopped her from entering the house, Ding Jiyi felt anger rising within her. She resorted to kicking up a fuss to get Jiao Nan to come out of the house. Even so, you are not allowed entry. Ding Jiyi, who was denied entry, saw red. She paced around in circles, not knowing what to do. She stomped her feet and made a move to dash into the house. The 2 soldiers saw what she was doing. They stretched out their hands to stop her from entering. There was no way that the old lady could bypass them to enter the house. If they could not even stop an old lady from entering the house, regiment commander Zai would definitely kick them out of the army. The woman must be out of her mind. You, Ding Jiyi's eyes turned red. She ground her teeth and turned to walk in the direction toward her house. She seemed to have given up. Ding Jiyi might have it all planned out, but Jiao Nan chose to ignore her. After creating a commotion, Ding Jiyi felt that her throat had turned hoarse from the shouts. Despite all this, Ding Jiyi did not even manage to see Jiao Nan, let alone for her to agree to her requests. Ding Jiyi was not the only one who was faced with setbacks. The Chen family, who went with Jiao Dongliang to the Shi family's residence, did not fare any better. In fact, they were in an even more awkward situation than her. Feng Cheng spent the Lunar New Year with her husband and daughter. She had yet to return to the capital and still stayed with them in Pingcheng. Feng Cheng was just an ordinary woman. Previously, she had been staying in the capital, but she did not have any commitments there. Now that she came to Pingcheng, she had no intention of leaving. She had to stop outsiders from deceiving her husband and her daughter. Feng Cheng was very unhappy that Shi Qing refused to listen to her and was very close to Jiao Nan. Feng Cheng knew that her parents' family thought highly of her daughter. Therefore, she decided to stay in Pingcheng this year and work on her relationship with her husband and daughter. She believed that she was more important to her daughter than an outsider and that her daughter would listen to her words. Feng Cheng sneered when she knew that Jiao Nan's father came looking for them. I am sorry, but I don't know you. Shi Peng has gone to work. He is not at home. Feng Cheng did not make any harsh comments, but she was not very polite to the guests. That is impossible. Director Shi does not need to go to work today. He should be at home. Jiao Dongliang had spent several Lunar New Years with the Shi family. He was very clear of Director Shi's work schedule. Sister-in-law, I have something to discuss with Director Shi. Something to discuss? Feng Cheng smiled. What is it? Tell me about it. Jiao Dongliang was not close with Feng Cheng. Besides, he was here to discuss where he should place Jiao Nan's dowry. Jiao Dongliang was at a loss for words. Sister-in-law, do we have any misunderstanding? From his experience of dealing with people, Jiao Dongliang could tell from Feng Cheng's indifferent attitude that there must be some misunderstanding. How could there be any misunderstanding? Feng Cheng said coldly. Is Qiao Nan your daughter? Yes. Then, there is no misunderstanding. A crooked stick would have a crooked shadow. How could he seek help from Xi Peng regarding his own family matters? He was trying to take advantage of them. Qiao Nan behaved in the same way as her father. She would always take advantage of Qing Qing. Qiao Zijin suppressed her smile. She leaned toward Chen Jun and whispered. Look, I have already told you that Qiao Nan tends to offend many people with that attitude of hers. Until now, she could not understand why the Li family, the Zhu family, and the Zai family felt that Qiao Nan was a good lady and doted on her. Instead, Shi Qing's mother was a good judge of people. She could tell that Qiao Nan was not a good person. Because of Qiao Nan, the relationship between my dad and Director Shi may turn sour. Chen Jun sneered. Contain that smile of yours when you are complaining about other people. It is too obvious. Also, you'd better shut up. Whatever you want to say can wait. I will not lose my temper here, but don't ask for trouble. Unlike his parents, Chen Jun understood the situation in the Qiao family very well. He would not be fooled by the current situation or be misled by Qiao Zijin's words. We are busy. I will not invite you in. Goodbye. Feng Cheng did not know what was going on between the Chen family and the Qiao family. She only acted according to how she felt. She slammed the door on her visitors. As soon as the door was closed, Xi Peng's and Xi Qing's voices could be heard from the house. The 5 people who stood outside the door were thoroughly embarrassed. Qiao Dongliang felt like covering his face with his hands and wanted to leave as quickly as possible. Sister-in-law does not seem to have a good temper. She might be in a bad mood today. Father Chen had been through many similar situations. He looked calm and unaffected. This is very common for women. It seems that Director Shi is busy today. Let's go back to the quad. True enough, it was not that easy to get to know Director Shi. He heard that Director Shi had a good relationship with the Qiao family, but it did not seem like it at all. Uncle Qiao, let's go back. Chen Jun changed the topic, putting aside the fact that the Shi family refused to see them. Auntie must have prepared the dinner. We will be in time for dinner when we go back. That's right. It is cold nowadays. We should not leave the dishes to turn cold. Mother Chen was unhappy. They were thwarted at the very beginning. They failed in getting to know Director Shi and were thoroughly embarrassed. Nevertheless, she was mindful of her husband and son. Since they seemed to be unaffected and were polite toward Qiao Dongliang, she stifled her anger and pretended to be polite and warm toward Qiao Dongliang. She was almost close to addressing him as in-law. Since the Chen family did not make any ugly comments, Qiao Dongliang, who was very embarrassed by what had happened just now, felt slightly better. He got in Chen Jun's car and said, I have only seen Director Shi and Qing Qing around in the past few years. This is my first time seeing his wife. I suppose I will have to make an appointment with Director Shi to discuss Nan Nan's dowry. I see. Father Chen nodded. He had heard about the Shi family's situation. The business dealings between people in the government were simple. There were about money and women. In particular, for people like Xi Peng whose wife was not by his side and his daughter was studying in another city, it was easier to ask him a favor by recommending women to a lonely man like him. Father Chen had tried this method in the past, but all the women that he recommended were rejected by Xi Peng and he even taught them some lessons. He then gave up on this approach. Brother Qiao, are you in frequent contact with Director Shi? Qiao Zijin, who sat at the back, clenched her fists anxiously. She hoped that her father would be smart and would not say the wrong words in front of the Chen family. Chapter 1078 Don't spread it to me. Regarding this, Qiao Zijin's worries were unfounded. Qiao Dongliang felt good about himself when he said, Director Shi is busy and he doesn't know how to cook. In particular, when Nan Nan and Xi Qing were in their 3rd year of high school studies, most of Director Shi's dinners were settled at our house. In other words, Xiao Dongliang had prepared dinners for Shi Peng for 3 years. Were they considered on good terms then? When he heard that, Father Chen's expression looked much better. Xiao Zijin even exaggeratedly heaved a sigh of relief. Director Shi was such a smart person. Of course, his thoughts would not be controlled by a woman. It would suffice as long as Xiao Dongliang was on good terms with Director Shi. As for that wife of Director Shi, it did not matter. Finally, they could become associated with Director Shi. It would be great if they could also gain his wife's favor. If that could not happen, they certainly had to focus on attacking and taking down the main party concerned, Shi Peng. This was the most important matter. As soon as Xiao Dongliang placed all his cards on the table, the awkwardness of being rejected by Feng Cheng at door earlier disappeared in a moment. The two families then happily returned to the small courtyard of the Qiao family. When she heard sounds of movements, Ding Jiyi walked out. She finally let down her worries when she found that the two families were getting along fine. She snorted. What was the big deal if that wretched girl refused to help? Didn't this matter also become successful without that wretched girl? Mom, has Nan Nan arrived? The matter about the Shi family was considered neither successful nor unsuccessful. Suddenly, Xiao Zijin thought of Xiao Nan, her younger sister. Ding Jiyi rolled her eyes unhappily. If she is coming, will I still be so busy in the kitchen? Mom, why did your voice become like that? Xiao Zijin was shocked. Weren't you well earlier? Did you catch a cold? Having said that, Xiao Zijin immediately withdrew her hand that Ding Jiyi was currently holding onto. She even distanced herself from Ding Jiyi lest she become infected by the latter. In the past, Xiao Zijin had heard her classmate's voice become hoarse all of a sudden because of a viral cold. Moreover, this kind of cold was very contagious. It was the Lunar New Year. Xiao Zijin did not wish to fall sick. It would be bad luck. When Xiao Zijin behaved like that, everyone present was stunned. Of course, Xiao Dongliang and Ding Jiyi reacted most strongly and they felt most upset. As she sensed that her action was probably inappropriate, Xiao Zijin blushed. She then turned and quickly ran into the house. In a while, she came out. Mom, here's the cold medicine. Quickly take them with water now. If it's not effective, we can go to the hospital. The earlier you seek treatment, the better. Okay. When the gloomy Ding Jiyi saw Xiao Zijin bring over the medicine and water, her cold heart turned warm immediately. Don't worry. My health is very good. I won't catch a cold. Ding Jiyi clearly knew that her voice was hoarse due to too much shouting. Nevertheless, she could feel her daughter's concern. She treated the cold medicine that her daughter brought over as a supplement. She swallowed them with plain water. At the sight of Ding Jiyi taking the medicine, Xiao Zijin heaved a sigh of relief. She knew that she had managed to cover up the mistake that she had just committed. Both the Qiao family and the Chen family had been paying attention to Xiao Nan's action all the time. However, Xiao Nan could not be bothered about these two families until she received Shi Qing's phone call. Oh, that's what happened. Shi Qing took a glance at her biological mother before she lowered her voice and said to Xiao Nan, what is happening to Uncle Xiao? Don't tell me his intelligence simply became out of service without you by his side. Most likely, my dad's intelligence has always been out of service. It's just that he has owed too many fees recently. The phone service is really going to cease soon, Xiao Nan said jokingly. Shi Qing sighed. Are you still in the mood to joke? What exactly are your thoughts? Given our relationship, if you really have such intentions, it's easy to settle the place. Your house is small and my house is big. You may as well marry from my house. That will do also. No, I have already agreed with Uncle Zhu. I will marry into the Zai family from the Zhu family's residence. I am grateful for your good intention. As for my dad, Director Shi, and you don't need to care about what he says. You can just ignore him. If she were to really marry from the Shi family's residence, it would be too much of a slap in the face. Although Jiaonan did not wish to bother about Jiao Dongliang, she had never thought of making him lose all his face. Fine, we'll do that then, Shi Qing said. Today, when Jiao Dongliang brought the Chen family here to look for Shi Peng, both father and daughter heard him since they were at home. They were just unwilling to come out to entertain him. Otherwise, why would Feng Cheng have the chance to open the door for Jiao Dongliang? Jiao Dongliang was too simple-minded. He treated the relationship between Shi Peng and the Jiao family as a personal one. As the other party concerned, Shi Peng did not have the same thoughts. After talking to Jiao Nan, Shi Qing hung up the phone and told Shi Peng about Jiao Nan's intention. Dad, these are Jiao Nan's thoughts. In the future, no matter what Uncle Jiao says, you just need to disagree. Also, Dad, don't ever let the Chen family enter our door. I hate the Chen family. Why? Feng Cheng looked at Shi Qing curiously. Initially, Feng Cheng refused to accept the Chen family because of Jiao Dongliang and Jiao Nan. When she heard that Jiao Nan had a conflict with Jiao Dongliang and did not wish to come into contact with the Chen family, Feng Cheng was interested to know the situation. No particular reason. Shi Qing did not tell Feng Cheng the truth. Dad, you know, right? I know. Shi Peng sneered as he nodded. In the past, there were hiccups when Jiaonan and Shi Qing were taking the college entrance examination. They nearly missed the examination as they were held up outside the school. Chen Jun was the mastermind of that incident. Shi Peng was aware of it. If Zai Sheng had not acted swiftly and viciously and kicked Father Chen out of the police headquarters, Shi Peng also wanted to take revenge on the Chen family. The two families were enemies. It would be strange if Shi Peng would be friendly to the Chen family and give them convenience. As he was well aware of his wife's character, Shi Peng reminded her. Feng Cheng, don't interfere in the matters of the Chen family. This is Ping Cheng and not the capital. If I know that you are in contact with any of the Chen family members, don't blame me for being unruly. His wife could be naive and simple. She could hide behind his back all the time. He was willing to take on anything for her. The problem was that his wife clearly did not have the capability, but she had to act smart and do some foolish things. Shi Peng would not be so good-tempered then. Feng Cheng, you have to remember. Qing Qing and I are the most important people in your life. If you can't figure this out clearly. Feng Cheng, I don't wish our marriage to end up in a divorce. This was a marriage that was filled with schemes and ploys. It was not easy for Shi Peng to be able to persist until today. Shi Peng was aware that both he and Feng Cheng were considered people who had been abandoned by their families. They were in the same plight. He was thus very patient with Feng Cheng. However, everyone had a tolerance level. Feng Cheng was already of this age. She should grow up a little. Chapter 1079 Spent a bomb. If Feng Cheng was still clueless and were to do something inappropriate to add on to his troubles, Shi Peng was reluctant to continue to tolerate it. Shi Peng, what do you mean? Do you want to divorce me? The couple had been living in separate places for so many years. Feng Cheng felt that she had always been a good wife and had never done anything that let Shi Peng down. She had also never thought of getting a divorce. To her surprise, Shi Peng dared to voice out something that she had not even thought about. Shi Peng, confess honestly. I've not been by your side for such a long time. Are you seeing someone else outside? Even Shi Qing frowned, failing to comprehend this, let alone Shi Peng. Mom, what nonsense are you talking about? Dad is not that kind of person. Why would he do such a thing? Dad, you should know Mom's temper too. You are aware that Mom has a one-track mind. Be patient when you tell her things. If she doesn't get it, just keep a watch on her. Why did you have to say such things? Aren't you afraid that Mom may create a greater disaster when you provoke her? Xi Peng was quite angry earlier, but he smiled when he heard Shi Qing's slick words. Oh, you've improved. Of course. Shi Qing said proudly. Do you think I have been wasting my time at PLA National Defense University during the past 6 months? You have to know. Although I entered PLA National Defense University later, I am still an outstanding student. When she mentioned this, Shi Qing's chin lifted even more. In terms of devising ploys and strategies, Shi Qing and Feng Cheng's relationship was reversed. Shi Qing was Feng Cheng's senior. Now, Shi Qing was able to understand the arrangements and ploys that the Feng family had for Feng Cheng. In Shi Qing's opinion, Feng Cheng had lived most of her life in a muddle-headed way. Furthermore, the Feng family's education of Feng Cheng was too successful. It would not be easy to correct Feng Cheng. Instead of making everyone suffer whereby the outcome might not be good, they might as well allow Feng Cheng to maintain her current state. Her mother was clueless about everything. Nevertheless, wasn't she simple and happy? As long as her mother felt that she was having a good life, it did not matter what the truth was. In short, similar to the Feng family, Xi Peng was willing to continue to dote on Feng Cheng so that she will always be simple and happy. Qing Qing, is that how you talk to Mom? No matter how simple Feng Cheng was, she could tell that her daughter was underestimating her. Shi Qing sat beside Feng Cheng and hugged her arms. Mom, don't get angry. Didn't Grandpa and Grandma always teach you that these are all men's matters? You just have to let Dad handle them. Won't that do? Mom, didn't you say that you will stay in Pingcheng this year to keep Dad and me company? Why don't we do this? Tomorrow, I will go shopping for recipe books. When you are not around, Dad doesn't take his meals regularly. His health suffers easily. With you around, Dad will have a health housekeeper. You can feed him until he is fair and chubby. If she did not assign something for her mother to do, the latter's thoughts might go astray. This matter, to Feng Cheng, who did not have the habit of doing household chores at all, taking care of Xi Peng's daily 3 meals was still an arduous and major task. She had to learn everything from scratch. Fortunately, Feng Cheng still remembered that she was Xi Peng's wife. Fine. In the future, I will take care of your dad by his side. I will definitely nourish his health. Shi Qing's eyes swirled with thoughts. Mom, reading culinary books won't take up too much of your time. Besides preparing meals, what are you going to do? It is too boring to be alone. Why don't we ask Dad to find some easy jobs for you to do? You want me to go out and work? Feng Cheng, who had never cooked before in her entire life, had just decided that she was willing to try to be a good and virtuous wife. Now, her daughter gave another suggestion that had never come to her mind before. Xi Peng glanced at Shi Qing. He was well aware of his daughter's thoughts. He then sang the same tune as Shi Qing. Qing Qing is right. It is already the 21st century. When Chairman Mao was alive, he said that women can hold up half the sky and become very successful too. It is also a new experience for you to take on a job. Of course, if you feel that it is not suitable for you or you are not used to it, you can always stop working. Shi Qing held on to Feng Cheng's arm affectionately. Dad, you have to find a relaxing job for Mom. She has not worked before in her whole life. I just want her to experience life. I don't approve of her doing something too arduous. What if it tires her out? Shi Qing did not mention that Feng Cheng did not have the skills to take on difficult jobs. She only said that her heart would ache for Feng Cheng if it was too tiring for the latter. Feng Cheng felt so loved by Shi Qing's caring manners. Qing Qing, don't worry. Mom is not so useless. Whether the job is easy or not, as long as I am determined to do it, I don't need your dad to take care of me. Fine. Since Qing Qing had suggested that she take on a job, she would give it a try then. For the past 20 years, Feng Cheng had been staying at home with the Shi family. Thereafter, she had been cooping herself in the house of the Feng family. Although she would occasionally participate in some cocktail parties, she was spending less and less time on these events as her husband was not by her side. She had been staying at home all the time. Feng Cheng had long felt that she was going to turn moldy. Otherwise, she would not have strongly requested to come to Pingcheng to keep her husband company. She could also see her daughter occasionally then. Feng Cheng was already thinking of changing her current way of life. Hence, there was no reason for her to reject her daughter's suggestion. As soon as they talked about working, Feng Cheng was smiling and considering the kinds of jobs that could be suitable for her. As for the Chen family's situation, she had completely forgotten about it and put it behind her. After successfully diverting Feng Cheng's attention, Shi Qing stretched out her 2 fingers and showed Shi Peng a sign of victory. Shi Peng smiled and glared at Shi Qing to remind her not to be overly smug, in case Feng Cheng discovered any loopholes. If that were to happen, they would not be able to appease Feng Cheng as easily. I have so many dowries. Isn't Uncle Zhu exaggerating? On the other hand, Xiao Nan had received the list of dowry that Zhu Chenqi had prepared for her. At the sight of the list of dowry and the long string of words, Xiao Nan was wide-eyed and tongue-tied. The list of dowry could be described as comprehensive as it could get. Zai Hua stretched her neck and took a glance. How can the Zhu family make a mistake on this? I really can't tell. The Zhu family spent a bomb on you. They really treat you as their biological daughter. Even a person like Zai Hua felt marveled when she saw the list of dowry from the Zhu family. She was astonished at the generosity of the Zhu family. At the same time, she was also a little envious of Jiao Nan's good fortune. Although Jiao Dongliang and Ding Ji, this pair of biological parents, were extremely unreliable. They could not stop good fortune from befalling Jiao Nan. Someone was not only willing to acknowledge Jiao Nan as a goddaughter but also willing to treat her like a biological daughter. Mom, will I have so many things when I get married in the future? Chapter 1080 Don't Torture Others. Zai Hua, who was chewing an apple, turned and stared at Miao Jing. Miao Jing flung her hands without care. Don't forget. You are someone who will be taking in a husband. The dowry will be prepared by the Tian family. I don't need to worry over that. The Zai family had not yet reached out to the Tian family after knowing that they were back. Nevertheless, the Tian family had already contacted the Zai family and expressed that they would like to have a meal together as everyone was former neighbors from the old quad. Unfortunately, before the Zai family could respond, the Tian family had to rush back to the capital after praying to their ancestors. An urgent matter seemed to have cropped up at their end. They left a message for the Zai family, saying that the 2 families could have a meal come gathering when the Zai family moved to the capital. Miao Jing smiled at the attitude of the Tian family. It seemed that she still had the chance to watch her daughter get married in this lifetime. Zai Hua snorted continuously. Dongzi is the only child in the Tian family. That was just a joke as he was still young and ignorant at that time. If the Tian family can bear to let me take in their only son as our son-in-law, I promise that I will marry him immediately, whether I like him or not. Miao Jing brought up Dongzi to make a joke of Zai Hua. Zai Hua was willing to play along and even said such words. This was because the mother-daughter pair knew that Dongzi couldn't be taken in as a son-in-law. Anyway, this was just a joke within the family. Zai Hua had always been thick-skinned. She was willing to take it lying down and laugh over it. She would take on whatever moves Miao Jing made. The topic has strayed. Xiao Nan reverted to the main issue. Grandpa, this is not good, is it? There were so many items. It would have cost them a bomb. Xiao Nan hardly received any money from her biological parents, yet she was going to take so many valuable items from outsiders. Xiao Nan dared not accept them as she felt guilty about it. Old Master Zai was also surprised by Zhu Chenqi's generosity. After thinking, he spoke, a typical person won't have so much money to arrange so many items unless they did something that let the country down. However, the Zhu family is different, and Zhu Chenqi is a smart one. During the 10 years of chaos, the Zhu family had hidden a lot of good stuff. It is not just the Zhu family. It is also the same for your master. They don't lack money. Hence, it's not a big deal. The list of items looked quite scary. Nevertheless, the Zhu family had such capability. But the Zhu family still has Zhu Baoquo. Qiaonan still could not bring herself to accept the items. Zhu Baoquo will certainly need betrothal presents when he marries a wife in the future. To be realistic, she was not even considered a fictive kin, yet she could get so many dowries from the Zhu family. If Zhu Baoquo's future partner were to find out about this matter, what would she think of it? What if this woman were to kick up a fuss with the Zhu family because of this matter? She would feel so embarrassed. Nan. Zhu Chenqi is the head of the Zhu family. The woman that Zhu Baoquo marries in the future has to be approved by Zhu Chenqi. Zhao Yaowai asked Qiaonan not to be overly worried. The woman who could make Zhu Chenqi nod his head would certainly be a smart one. She would definitely not kick up a fuss with Zhu Chenqi or Zhu Baoquo because of such a small matter. People who were so improvident to create a din for such a matter could forget about entering the Zhu family. Alright, it's late. Let's go and sleep. The date of the wedding banquet is arriving soon. Fortunately, this house is not small and we can accommodate all those items. Old Master Zai yawned. The elderly members of other families could not sleep as they advanced in years. It was not sure if Old Master Zai was in high and good spirits due to many joyous events happening, but he was full of vigor and seemed to be getting younger and younger as days went by. That vitality of his was not any less than that of youngsters. He insisted to keep to the routine of sleeping and waking up early. His health was excellent. Old Master Zai stood up and made a rare comment. Zai Sheng, don't torture people these 2 nights. At the sight of his granddaughter-in-law's dark eye circles becoming increasingly obvious, this was the first time Old Master Zai felt that his usually calm grandson was actually a young and immature lad. He had no boundaries in loving his granddaughter-in-law. His mature and stable character in the past seemed to have grown wings and flew away. Of course, Old Master Zai's heart ached that his grandson was already over 20 years of age before he finally got to hug his granddaughter-in-law. He was aware of Zai Sheng's passion toward Qiaonan. However, his heart also ached for Qiaonan, this granddaughter-in-law. No matter how proud he was of his grandson, Old Master Zai had not forgotten the age difference between his grandson and his granddaughter-in-law, who was 26 years and 21 years old respectively. His granddaughter-in-law was still very young. She needed more care and protection. If he were to continue to let his grandson have his way, Old Master Zai was worried that his grandson's passion would scare his granddaughter-in-law away, and the two would not be able to collect their wedding certificate. After throwing such embarrassing words, Old Master Zai swayed back into his own room, leaving behind a group of juniors staring at one another, speechless. Zai Yaowai stood up calmly and held on to Miao Jing's waist as they returned to their room. Zai Hua was so angry that she kept snorting like an old cow. She was thinking in private. If that young lad of the Tian family had not gone to the capital, she would definitely catch hold of Lady Tian and become a pair with her. Old Master Zai yearned for a great-grandchild. He had already been through life and thick and thin with his old partner. Zai Yaowai and Miao Jing were also getting along very well in recent years. As for Qiaonan and Zai Sheng, they were head over heels for each other. Zai Hua was the only single one in the whole family now. Facing these public displays of affection from her kin, Zai Hua was so furious that she was scratching her lungs. In the past, she had wanted to find a man as she wanted someone to dote on and love her like a princess. Now, Zai Hua purely wanted to do away with singlehood. She wanted to work hard in finding a man to pair up with. When Zai Sheng brought Qiaonan back to the bedroom and shut the door, Qiaonan immediately jumped onto the bed after kicked Zai Sheng. I am too embarrassed to face anyone. Zai Sheng did not have much reaction. However, the speed at which he undressed did not slow down at all. When Qiaonan was still feeling annoyed, she had already been pressed down by Zai Sheng. She glared at him. Have you forgotten Grandpa's words? Zai Sheng was slowly undressing Qiaonan as he spoke, neither too quickly nor slowly. I didn't. I remember them very clearly. Also, I am conscientiously executing them. Old Master Zai wishes for a grandchild. If he did not work hard, would the old master have any great-grandchild to carry? Since he was a child, he listened to the old master most. In particular, he had to obey him for this kind of matter. Grandpa said that you are not allowed to torture me these few days. Qiaonan pushed her hands on Zai Sheng's chest, which was as hard as steel. However, her strength could not surpass that of Zai Sheng. She could only allow Zai Sheng to come closer and closer to her until their bodies were plastered together. When Qiaonan wrapped herself up so tightly, she could not stop Zai Sheng. Now, she had been thoroughly undressed by Zai Sheng. She couldn't do anything. When Zai Sheng lowered his body and entered Qiaonan, he overpowered all of Qiaonan's subsequent words. It was only when Qiaonan was feeling dizzy that she felt like crying, but there were no tears.